Hey everyone, me again. If you're new around here, my name's Alice and I make videos all about affordable beauty and fashion. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So normally I like to focus on product reviews over here, but recently I've been watching quite a lot of like will I buy it videos and anti-hauls, and just seeing a lot of people kind of giving commentary and their opinions on the latest makeup launches. And I thought that that was a really interesting idea, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. That being said, I've never seen someone do what I'm going to be doing, which is only focusing on affordable and drugstore products. Normally the people I watch do a mix of high-end and cheaper stuff. Of course, if someone has done it, then sorry, I wasn't trying to steal your idea. Please don't hate me. But yeah, I'm doing a low buy this year, so it's actually going to be really helpful for me to be a bit more critical of makeup launches and not get sucked into the hype. But also I'm really interested in videos like these because they give you guys a chance to tell me what products you really like the look of. And then if a lot of you say that you're really interested in one particular thing, I know to go out and buy that thing and review it for you. Apart from the Revlon Candid Glow Foundation, there is no way I am spending my hard-earned money on that foundation. If you've seen my 2019 foundations video, you already know how much I despise the original Revlon Candid foundation. Now there's a new one that has the word glow in the title, and frankly I am not going anywhere near it. I don't care how many of you request it, it's not happening. Everything else though, I'm willing to have an open mind. So I'm going to go through brand by brand. Like I said, I'm only really focusing on affordable brands in this video, so that's going to be Revolution, Colourpop. Honestly, those two brands do so many new launches that I could literally make videos like this just about them. And then it's going to be all the regular brands you see in the drugstore as well, like Maybelline, Revlon, etc. So I thought we would start with Revolution because they're one of my favourite brands, if not my favourite brand. And they release quite a lot of stuff, so there's a lot to talk about. So from the brand Obsession, Makeup Revolution have like a couple of different brands, by the way, so Obsession is like part of that umbrella. So Obsession have released their So Dope collection. There's a palette for £10, there's a fixing spray for £6, and a nourishing essence spritz for £7. I'm gonna be real, I'm probably not going to buy this. I'm just bored of seeing marijuana everywhere. It's in makeup, it's in skincare. When is that trend going to die? Like, is marijuana really popular enough to justify all the marijuana themed releases we're seeing at the moment? Because I feel like there are just millions. So yeah, I'm not going to buy this. The palette, however, does look really interesting, and I really like with Obsession palettes that you can kind of take out your favorite shades and put them in your other magnetic palettes. If you're new around here, I really love magnetic eyeshadow palettes. I've actually got really into building my own palettes in the last year or so. So yeah, that does appeal to me. I do really like the shades in the So Dope eyeshadow palette, but I hate the fact that it's got marijuana leaves imprinted on it, so I'm not going to buy it. Sorry. I'm also probably not going to buy the colour books from them. They've launched 5 colour books for £15 each. I don't know if it's just my monitor, but to me a lot of the shades in these palettes look very, very similar. I know a lot of people are doing monochromatic palettes at the moment, and this is probably the first one I've seen that's a bit bigger, but for me, for someone who typically isn't that adventurous with the eyeshadow, for me it looks a bit too big, whereas the smaller ones from Colourpop to me look a little bit more interesting. I'm also not going to buy their Teddy palettes, which are £10 each. I promise I will get to some stuff that I am interested in at some point in the video, but the Teddy palettes are probably the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm not buying one. However, Revolution are also launching some concealers. One of them's already on the market now, and I will probably buy at least one of them because I really like a lot of the Revolution based products. I'm actually wearing their Conceal and Hydrate foundation right now. I love it. I've been banging on about it in loads of my videos recently, so I'm not going to in this one as well. So yeah, I am really interested in their concealers. So they've already launched the Conceal and Fix Ultimate Coverage Concealer for £7. I really love concealers like this that come in little jars, especially for breakouts. They've always got really, really good coverage. The problem I find with them is that a lot of them just aren't pale enough for me, whereas I know with Revolution there definitely will be one that suits my skin tone. So the shade range for this launch isn't as diversive as Revolution launches usually are, so I think there's only, hang on, I wrote it down somewhere, bear with me. So I think there's only 15 shades of this, and on the photo that shows all 15 shades, the entire top row looks like it would suit me. And then there's a few like medium and deep ones, and then there's one deep dark one right at the end. So that's a little bit disappointing. Usually the shade range from Revolution is a lot better. Maybe if the launch does quite well, they'll release more shades further down the line, but I don't really see that happening, so I might get that one, or I might get the new Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer. So I don't know much about this yet. At the time I'm filming this, they've only released like a sneak peek thing on Instagram, and all it said is that it's offering 20% more pigment and 20% more coverage than the original Conceal and Define Concealer, and it's going to be released in 60 shades. I mean, that is amazing. Not even just for a drugstore brand, like that's good for any makeup brand to have 60 shades. So it's kind of weird that they're making 60 shades of this one but only 15 shades for the little pot concealer. I imagine that because the Conceal and Define range is very popular, I imagine because of that they know that they can make 60 shades and that they're going to sell 60 shades, so maybe that's why. I don't know the price, but I imagine it's going to be £7 if they make it in the supersize packaging, which they probably will. I do really like the Conceal and Define concealer, but I don't use it all the time. It's not one of my holy grails. For me, it's just not pigmented enough to cover my really stubborn breakouts, but also it's not creamy enough to put like under my eyes and over my areas of redness. So if this one has more pigment and more coverage to it, this might be quite a good go-to spot concealer for me. At the moment, my favourite one for that is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer, which I like, but the shade range kind of sucks. I think there's like 5 shades for that. So yeah, it would be really good to see if the new Revolution one can compete with that. I don't know if this is going to replace the original Conceal and Define or if it's going to be like separate, but if by the time I've edited this they've released a bit more information, then I'll put it on the screen now. Revolution have also released 2 Forever Flawless palettes for £10 each. Those are the eyeshadow palettes that come in the really beautiful tins with all the square pans. They do look really nice. I've actually never bought one of them because I'm trying not to buy as many eyeshadow palettes. It's really hard, guys. But yeah, they've released 2. There's a really bright, colourful one called Birds of Paradise, and there's a more, I wouldn't call it neutral, but it looks more neutral than the other one, but it's got like pops of pink and purple in there, and that one's called Showstopper. The thing is, both of these palettes look very similar to products they've already got. So Birds of Paradise obviously really reminds me of Tammy's Tropical Paradise palette. I don't think they're exactly the same, but I can see that the inspiration is from a very similar place. I don't have Tammy's palette, and I'm not going to get the Birds of Paradise one either, just because I don't really wear a lot of colourful eyeshadow. I do have some in my collection, so if I feel the urge to wear colour, I'm already kind of covered, but I definitely don't wear it often enough to justify buying a load more colourful palettes. The Showstopper does look like my cup of tea, but again, it looks very similar to something they've already have. It looks almost identical to the one called Utopia. I'll put it up side by side on the screen so that you can see. To me, both the palettes look really similar. I don't think you need both. Maybe Showstopper is a bit more pink and Utopia is a bit more blue. I do really like the look of Showstopper, and I also really like the look of Utopia as well, because let's face it, they're almost exactly the same. But I know that in my gigantic eyeshadow palette collection, I've probably got all of those colours already in other palettes, so I don't feel the overwhelming urge to go out and get it right now, but yeah, I might pick up Utopia at some point, we'll see. Up next, Colourpop. Colourpop are another brand who release quite a lot of stuff. I think as a consumer, I find that quite exciting and quite interesting. As a YouTuber, I find it really bloody annoying though, because I'll order something, and of course it's in America, so it takes weeks and weeks to arrive, and then by the time it gets to my doorstep, they've launched like 2 or 3 other products. I don't order from them a lot because you either have to spend over $50 to get free shipping or pay $10 for shipping, so yeah, it can get a little bit pricey for me, but I have enjoyed quite a few of their products. So they've launched a Lunar Beauty collection for Chinese New Year. The products look absolutely stunning and I really love the packaging, but nothing from the collection really suits me. So they've got the white tea face milk for $14. What is face milk, by the way? Do any of you know? Because I kind of want one, but I don't really know what it does. There's a cheek duo for $14. The cheek products don't suit my colouring at all, but they do look stunning. There are 3 liquid lipsticks for $8 each. I really like the look of the lipsticks, and there's one particular shade called It's a Banger that I would consider getting if I wasn't on a low buy. Like, it looks really pretty, but I know that I don't wear liquid lipstick, especially red liquid lipstick, often enough to justify buying it, so I don't think I'm going to pick up any of these. They've also released a massive palette called It's All Good for $34. The colours are very pretty, but I'm not going to buy this either. I get really overwhelmed by larger palettes. I just don't know what to do with them. However, they've just launched the Mint to Be collection, and that's actually kind of speaking to me a little bit. So they've got this really cute monochrome palette for $12 with all these pretty mint shades in there, and they've got 2 Super Shock shadows in Flux and Mint for You, and they're $6 each. There's also some glitter gels and a creme gel liner as well. I can actually see myself buying the palette and maybe one of the Super Shock shades at some point. Not right now because, like I said, international shipping is a bit pricey over here in the UK. Right now I don't really need anything else to bulk up the order because I actually did an order, was it a couple of months ago? I can't remember, but it was fairly recent. The palette especially looks absolutely beautiful. I think the colours would look really nice on me, and they would kind of clash in a nice way with my red hair and just make my blue eyes pop a bit as well. So yeah, I really like the look of this collection, and it's quite different as well. At the time of filming this, I don't really know much about it, but I do just want to quickly mention the Makeup Geek rebranding. All I know is that they're rebranding at some point this month in January 2020, and they're going to be having new shades, and that the pans are going to come in squares, I think, instead of circles, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, I love magnetic eyeshadow palettes, as I said, and I'd love to support Marlena in any way I can. So I'm really interested in this rebrand, and I am keeping my eye out for more information. I don't know how expensive it's going to be to buy the products here in the UK though, that's the only thing, because obviously it would be international shipping. So that's going to really determine whether or not I actually place an order with them. If they've got a reasonable cost for international shipping, or they stock it somewhere like Beauty Bay over here, then I'm really interested in buying something from them. Up next, Revlon. So Revlon have launched a whole bunch of crap, including some very confusing looking eyebrow products that have got a weird sponge on the end for some reason, but they've also launched some more interesting products as well. So they've got the Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighters in Twilight Gleam and Daybreak Glimmer. They're $9.99 each. Obviously I'm not going to buy them, they don't work for my complexion at all, but I did just want to mention them because they're so beautiful. They've also got the Photo Ready Rose Glow Hydrating and Illuminating Primer for $12.99. Again, it looks very pretty, and I'm all about oil primers at the moment, as you know, but I have read a few of the reviews on the Boots website, and a couple of people have complained about the packaging. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy this just because of the reviews. So I think this is the only launch from Maybelline at the moment. They've released the Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. It's not a brand new foundation, it's actually their Dream Satin Foundation, but repackaged. And I think it is reformulated as well, but I don't think it's going to be massively different. So I did actually review the Dream Satin Foundation a couple of years ago. I did really like the foundation. I still like it now, but I've got a bottle of it in my drawer, so I don't need to go out and buy this. The only reason I would buy this is if you guys really wanted to see a review or a side-by-side comparison or something. But otherwise, I'm not really that interested. I don't think it's going to be so dramatically different that I need to have 2 bottles of it on the go at the same time. I do remember really liking this at the time. I still like it now, but the coverage just isn't really enough for me these days. I look for like a solid medium to full coverage foundation. This is definitely quite a light coverage foundation. So yeah, I'm not really interested in going out and buying it straight away unless you guys really want to see a review. You know, the funny thing is, I thought because I was only going to be talking about affordable brands that I wouldn't really have a lot of products to talk about in a video like this, but whew, I was wrong. So here's the thing about Morphe, right? Morphe seem to be having a bit of an identity crisis. Like, one month they'll launch a palette that costs £42, and then the next month they'll launch a palette that costs $25. And I don't really understand the price differences. Like, there are some really dramatic price jumps from palette to palette. And I always thought that Morphe was supposed to be more of an affordable brand, but a lot of their launches over the last year or so haven't been at all, and when they came to Boots here in the UK, they're actually listed under the premium beauty brand on the Boots website, and I don't think Morphe is a premium brand. Sorry, I I just don't really think they are. And if they do have some products that are considerably better quality than others that justify the price jumping, then they should make that more clear to the consumer. They should have like some products under a different label, maybe called like Morphe Luxe, or have a sister brand or something, I don't know. But yeah, to me it's just a little bit all over the place. So I don't think I've really reviewed any Morphe products ever for that reason, but if I do in the future, then I'm going to be very, very selective about the products I choose, and I'm only going to talk about the ones that I think are actually good value for money. They have launched something that's reasonably priced though. They've launched the Fantasy Artistry palette for $25. The colour selection isn't the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and I feel no urge to go out and buy this if I'm being honest, but I just thought I'd mention it. They've also got a lipstick trio for $18 that I don't want either. e.l.f. are also launching a few new products. I don't know the UK pricing or the UK launch date yet, but I know that they're releasing some eyeshadow quads, which will be $3 each, and some putty eye primers for $5. I really don't need any eyeshadow, but the quads look so beautiful, especially the neutral ones and the pink ones and the bronze ones. Depending on what they cost when they come to the UK, or if they come to the UK, I might be tempted to pick up a couple. I do really like the look of the eye primers as well, especially because there's one kind of pinky one, and that really reminds me of the Maybelline Colour Tattoo in Creme de Rose, which has been discontinued. I absolutely love that eye primer, so if this is kind of the same or a similar sort of thing, I'm definitely going to buy that. Milani are going to be bringing out quite a lot of products soon. Some of it's skincare, which I don't really care about, but they're going to be launching a Screen Queen Luminous Foundation. Why do I find that so difficult to say? That's going to be in 45 shades, which is very impressive, and it's going to be $13.99. It does say there's a launch date of January 21st, but I think that might be a US launch date. I don't know when or even if it's going to be coming to the UK, but if it does, I'd be really interested in trying that. I know there's another foundation from Milani that gets quite a lot of hype on YouTube, but I've never bought that because that one sounds very matte, and I've got quite dry skin. I don't really go for matte foundation. Also, the shade range is a bit confusing, and apparently even the paler shades are still quite dark, but this one, the shade range looks a lot better. So yeah, if it makes its way to the UK, I might pick that up and do a review. They've also got some Cheek Kiss liquid blushes, which will be $9.99. They look really nice. I really like the packaging and the colour selection. I don't know if I am going to get them because I've got a few cream blushes already and they're all kind of the same, aren't they? Plus they're a tiny bit pricey, but maybe I might pick them up, not sure. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is the Magnetic Attraction collection from Kiko. Kiko do quite a lot of limited edition releases. I think they release more limited edition stuff than like actual products. I think as a regular consumer that can be quite interesting, quite exciting, but as a YouTuber it's really annoying because I'll find something, I'll fall in love with it, but maybe it'll have been discontinued by the time I talk about it on my channel. So yeah, I'm probably not going to buy anything from this collection just because I don't really buy limited edition products from any brand. Again, just because I won't be able to recommend them to you guys. But they do have a few products that look quite interesting. So there's an eyeshadow palette for $12.99. There's 2 blush duos and 2 highlighter duos, which are $12.99 each. And they've also got some lipsticks for $9.99 as well. Now the blush and highlighter duos look so beautiful, and I've actually got like a blush bronzer duo from them years and years ago, which I'm probably never going to use up because it's so pigmented and you hardly need any product. So I know that I love them and I know that I love the formula, I just don't think I really need them in my life right now. But the thing about Kiko limited edition stuff is that it's always on sale eventually. So if they bring the price down quite a bit for the highlighters or the blush duos, then I might get one in a few months. Okay, so those are all the products I wanted to go over today. Well done if you're still here at the end of this video because I feel like I've been talking for years. But yeah, this is a little bit different for me. I'm really interested to know if you guys enjoy watching this kind of thing. If you do, then let me know by giving this a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comment section what products really appeal to you, what you really like the look of, and let me know what you really don't like the look of as well. Let me know what products personally offend you. I'm really interested to know. If you're new around here and you want to see more from me, then hit the subscribe button. I'm uploading twice a week in January. That'll be every Wednesday and Sunday at 9 AM. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.